I thought we'd have a go at Let's Get Inky. I'm gonna try and recreate a card that was made by Phil Martin from Sentimentally Yours. Absolutely stunning card. I just hope I do it justice. So let's get started. What you're gonna need is a card base. You can choose any side card base you want. Mine is 6 3/4 by 6 3/4. And my first layer is this beautiful light chocolate brown colour, which is 6 1/4 by 6 1/4, because I thought I would like a nice large border around the edge. The second layer is this beautiful, what I would call a creche colour, and I've cut this at 6 by 6, giving a smaller border. And the top layer, which we're going to be doing all the inking on, is from Phil's watercolour cardstock, and this is 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. So if we put all those to one side, we'll just be working on this one for now. I've cut the dragonflies from Phil's Sentimentally Yours Shabby Dragonflies. So I've cut this one, and this one. And we're going to be inking those up again later. Let's pop them to one side. I'm also going to be using the stencils from Phil Martin and Sentimentally Yours. I think this one's, I don't know what they're called, but look on his website, I'm sure you'll find them. I'm then going to be using the Sentimentally Yours textured editions, beautiful stamps, and also I'm going to be using the Dragon Oasis corner pieces. These are absolutely stunning. So that's what I'm going to be using today. I've also got some scraps left over, which I'm going to need to find a sentiment to pop on. And I've got 3 scraps of the same colours of the card. So that's what we're using card-wise. I'm using my VersaFine ink. I'm using a prism colour to match the second layer, which is beautiful. These are dye-based inks. You can, they do react to water, so they're not the same as Distress Oxides, but I didn't have the colours that I needed in the Distress Oxides, but you can choose whatever colours you want as long as they're water reactive. I'm also using the Electric Blue. Again, this is a dye-based ink pad, and I'm using the Speckled Egg Distress Oxide inks. I have my card base, I have my tweezers, I have my blending tools. So let's get started. So using the darker of the blues, I'm using the Tim Holtz glass board with the lovely topper on, which allows you to ink blend. I'm going to pop some of the ink onto the mat. I'm going to take my water spray and I'm just going to spray this up. Now if you did this on a glass mat, you wouldn't get all these beautiful bobbly bits. It would just be really runny. And a top tip from Phil is to just mix all the colour around, and that way you don't end up with squares. Now with the watercolour cardstock, you just want to go in at the corner and turn it around and go down this side and a little bit more in that bottom corner. So we end up with this, and we're going to go over into the other corner. We're going to come down to the side. It doesn't matter how far in you go with your cards, with your inking, it's entirely up to you, but that's enough for me. Always remember to, before I clean up my mess, I'm going to take my butterflies, my dragonflies in, and I'm going to give them a little bit of an ink up. So there's one. There's the second one. And there's my third one. So we'll leave them to dry off a little bit. And then we need to clean up our mess. We need to dry this off just slightly. Doesn't need to be completely dry. Just needs to be dry enough really for us to be able to work with the next colour. So I think that's dry enough. You're still going to get some damp areas, but that's what makes this when it all blends in together. So actually I forgot to dry this off. The problem with Distress Oxides, if you put them on a wet surface, they don't do what you want them to do. So there's our speckled egg. Again, we're gonna spray some water on there. We're gonna move this around because we don't want the ink to go onto the card in the form of a square. We're going to go back over the corners with the speckled egg, and obviously that's now gone into other areas, but that looks quite pretty, I think. So at the end of the day, this just ends up being whatever you want it to be. I'm going to give our mat another clean up. Now, I don't want to dry this off at all because now I want to put some white gesso on my mat. And the white gesso, excuse me, is going to react with the ink giving it a beautiful softened edge. So the way I like to do this, I mix my colours on my mat, my gesso on my mat. I just make it as there we go. So this is mixed up on my mat. Then I'm going to get a fan brush and I'm just going to flick. And then I mixed up far too much, and you'll find that where the gesso meets the parts of the card that are wetter, it's going to fuse together. Used far too much gesso there, but never mind. Let's give this brush a little clean. Let's get myself a piece of kitchen roll. I know some people have a specific box that they use to spray their inks and gessos and one thing and another, but I just find it's just as easy to do it this way. At the end of the day, It's a little cleanup, that's all it is. And once the dirty work is out the way, it's not a problem. I'm going to clean up my tool, got it everywhere. Get this off of my, sorry, and there we go. So at the moment we've ended up with this background, which is doing its thing. We can now dry this off, so here comes the heat tool. I'll just give this a bit of a blast. Personal preference. Now I think that's dry enough for a minute or two. I'm gonna get myself a clean piece of kitchen roll. And bring this back over. So this is actually beautiful. And when I've dried, it's almost like the blues and the speckled egg have turned into light greens. So it's giving lots of different colours. I'm quite impressed with the cardstock. It hasn't warped too much. Right, so I'm going to leave that over there to dry for a second because I forgot to do my dragonflies with the speckled egg. Now I'm not going to water this because I want it to be more prominent. There we go, beautiful. So what we've got to go, love that already. I'm going to get the next one. And we've got a different pattern going on there, so that's beautiful. And then the third one. We'll see what we've got going on here. Lovely. Just a bit on the end of his tail. There we go. Just double check if there's anywhere else I want any to be. I think just maybe a tad up on the top of his wing. There, I'm happy with that. So the dragonflies need to be set to one side. Let them dry. Give our another wipe, and now we can actually work on other elements. So taking these scraps, I need to find a sentiment. So using my stamping platform, this is the Eureka 101. Absolutely filthy, could do with a good clean. It's got all the ink spaces down the side and a little brush it comes with. Really nice stamping mat. I've chosen from the Marianne Design Wishes collection. I think I'm going to go with May All Your Dreams and Wishes Come True. Now I like to use the stamping platform when I'm stamping sentiments. There's nothing worse than stamping a sentiment freehand and it doesn't stamp properly. So I'm going to pop that quite close to the edge of the cardstock. I'm going to pick that stamp up, and I've decided that I'm going to go with the Gresh colour in the Prism inks. First of all, to see how this stamps and if it stamps to a nice depth of colour. If not, I think I might have to change to the darker brown, but we'll see. So we're going to have a go at this and see what this looks like. Beautiful. So may all your dreams and wishes come true. Now the beauty of using a stamping platform is because the cardstock doesn't move, you can go back in and see if you can get it slightly darker, which we can. So there's the sentiment that I'm going to be using. Take my stamp off of there, give that a little wipe over, get rid of any of that colour ink, and we'll pop that one straight back in so that we don't lose it. So there we go. So we have our, oh, it's got a bit of a hair there. We have our sentiment. We now need a, excuse my head, pair of scissors, and we're going to cut this sentiment along here, creating a bit of an arrow. So there's your sentiment. I could go a bit more with that arrow and a bit closer. There we go. I think that's a bit lopsided, but never mind. No, I think that's fine. What you have to remember is this is all handmade from scratch. So then we need to mat this onto our second layer. And we're going to use glue for this, and I've got a funny feeling that this Nuvo glue is clogged. Oh no, it's fine. Well, it's clogged for a minute. Yeah, I noticed yesterday it kept clogging up on me. But I love it. It's beautiful glue. So I'm going to pop this down in the corner. Again, it is even at the bottom as it is to the end. I'm going to give this a bit of a rub. There we go. And then we're just going to cut around this one, trying to keep the same amount of border. And there's our first matte layer. And we just repeat that now with the darker colour. So again, pop your glue on the back of your sentiment. Get it as even as possible. Give it a good press down. And then we're going to repeat that, cutting around the sentiment as even as possible. And there we have our sentiment ready to go on our card. May all your dreams and wishes come true. Beautiful. Pop that to one side. Right, taking our cardstock back, just having a fill, and that's quite dry, so that's lovely. We can now work on this. So the first thing I'm going to do is take the stencils and using, this looks like pebbles to me, so I'm going to call it the pebbles. I think it's most probably got a name. I need to look it up. And we're just going to pop some pebbles in the electric blue. So taking your blending brush or blending pads, whatever it is you use, always dab off and just go in and create some pebbles. Now you can do these as much or as little as you like, and if you notice I'm going over the cardstock on an angle because I don't want it to be a straight line. And we're going to repeat this on this side, but I'm only going to repeat it at the bottom. So just taking that into that corner at the bottom. I want to try and leave this area without any, and this area at the bottom. So already that's changed the look of that background. Then we're going to take our Distress Oxide, which is the speckled egg, and we're going to go in with this lattice effect, and I'm going to try and just pop it in different areas. You choose, it's entirely up to you where you put things so that you get this effect. Now this one I'm going to pop at the top. Beautiful. Absolutely stunning already. So I think we're done with the stencils. So the next thing, I'm going to take my stamping platform again. And I'm going to start stamping what I want on this card. Now, I think if we go with the Dragonfly Oasis corner pieces, and I'm going to use Today Will Be Beautiful, which is a beautiful stamp. Just let me take this off of there. Now I'm not a believer in prepping stamps. I do get that maybe they come with manufacturers stuff on them, but once they're used, they're usually absolutely fine. And why on earth would anybody want to rub an eraser over their stamps? But that's just my opinion. So pop this one in this corner. Oh, absolutely stunning. You can go back in. I think the open spaces are supposed to be there, but we can go in and make that a little bit darker because the card hasn't moved. Stunning. Absolutely stunning. Now, leaving the card where it is, I'm just going to give my stamp a little clean. If you look after your stamps will look after you. give them, that's it, a little clean, and we'll pop that one back and choose something for the other corner. Now I could go with this bottom corner, cherish every moment, or I could go remember to dance, but that's the wrong way up. I think I'm going to go with this bottom corner. So off the page, lift up this stamp and give that a good in cap. And bring this one over. Absolutely beautiful. The detail and the words are so crisp. I would like it just a little bit darker. So bring that back over. Lovely, beautiful. So that one's stamped beautiful. Now with the little ones in the inside, we've got live the dream and love. So I think I'm going to use live the dream. I actually like that sentiment. And what I'm going to do, so I have to make sure I got this the right way up. Hang on a minute. Oh, live the dream. So that's that way up. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this off the corner like so. And we're going to pick that one up. Have I got that the right way round? I'm sure I have. Yeah, well, if we haven't, it's only card. That's the way I look at it. It's only paper. And this is going to go in this corner. Wow. So we've got live the dream. And we're going to stamp that up, make it a bit darker. Beautiful. Stunning. I'm not going to put anything down in this corner because this is where the sentiment's going to go. Just going to give that stamp a good clean up before we put it back. Otherwise we'll have Phil Martin on the case, and we'll pop that over there. Okay, so this is where we are at the moment. Now we can take the additions, the textured additions, and we can add any more of these elements that we want to. Now I quite I like the crackle, but Phil used the crackle. I like the brick wall, and I do like this. I don't know what that is actually. Sunburst, maybe. Let's have a little look. So I'm going to do the sunburst, but I'm going to do it in I think, shall we try it in the greyish colour? It might not show up, but we can have a go. because I want a few colours, a few different colours in this to complement the background mats and layers. So if we pop this one here, oh yeah, stunning. And it's just going to bring out those papers. Some patchy inks there. I'm going to bring one right on the edge there. Very pretty. And I think we'll have another one in this corner going into the white. There you go. So that's the sunbursts. Give that one a wipe off. So we've used the sunburst. I actually quite like the brick wall, but I don't know if the brick wall's gonna complement the stenciling. Let's use the crackle. And we're using the Versafine Clair for this, and we're going to put a crackle down there off the edge. We're going to pop a crackle up there off the edge. We're actually going to pop one here, because if you notice with this butterfly he's got crackle going on behind him, so that picks up on that one. And I think we need another one just over in this corner. There we go. So there's our crackles. Give that a wipe off. Pop that one back. Now my magnets have fused, so we need, it's the reason I put this, there you go, just move them out of the way. So we've got quite a lot going on there. I think what shall we use? I think I'm going to use some lines. I think that would look quite effective. Oh, just fits on that. Let's pop it that way. Let's take this up there. Oops, wrong colour. It's almost like I'm going to take this off the page actually. There you go, so a little bit of writing. Where else can we put some? We could actually, it'd be a waste, but we could go right up in that corner, and then we could do maybe a second generation. Let's just do a second generation there. Lovely. Wipe the stamp off again. I'm loving how, I think we could do with another sunburst over there, but it's not supposed to look uniform, it's supposed to look all over the place. So the last thing I think we'll put on here are, what do you call them? They're not safety pins. They're something else. They're like safety pins. They're pins. Pop them on there. I didn't catch the corner. There you go. So I'm going to pop one there. I'm going to do a second gen there. And I might do a third gen just there. There you go. So we've got lots going on. Okay. So now we need to decide whether we think that's enough. Which actually I think it is, because by the time we've got the dragonflies on there, I think we'll be sorted. So I think this is dry enough to work with at the moment. So if we pop it over, we're going to apply some glue. Seems to all around the edge of the cardstock. And a bit in the middle. There we go. And we're going to adhere this to the lighter of the two. Just get that nice and even all the way around. Give that a nice oh dear. It's a good job it's on the back and not the front. This is driving me mad. Keeps making a clanging noise, and it's my rings. Sorry about that. And then we're going to adhere this to this brown one. Let's just pop a little bit of glue under that corner. I can see it's there we go. I think that's going to look gorgeous. Move the butterflies out the way. Okay, so on the back of this one we're going to add some foam tape. And I do everything back to front. Never mind. Same result in the end. Oops, nearly chopped my butterfly up. Butterfly, dragonfly. The thing about calling them butterflies. So just a little bit there. And a little bit there. This is great buying these great big reels, but they're quite difficult to work with. Okie dokie, so I only ever use my nails to get these off. It's quite easy. Right. Pop all that in the bin. Make sure we're the right way up. And we're going to adhere this to our first layer, making sure we're nice and even all the way around. Look how that pops, that's beautiful. And the last thing to do, I'm going to turn over my, oh that's just as bad that side, but I think it's dry, is to adhere this to our card base. Now I don't know whether I want to, no, I think I will just glue it straight down. So I was thinking I might put it on foam pads, but I think it'll be too deep. So this is quite heavy now, so you want quite a bit of glue all the way around the edge and make sure you pop some in the middle. And this is the one we need to get as exact as possible. So we're going to go about there. Beautiful. Pop this over again and give this a really dirty fingers. Really good rub. So that's where we are at the moment. Lovely jubbly. Now our dragonflies are going to go here. I thought we'd have one up there and then maybe this little one coming in from down here. I know a lot of people put their embellishments on with glue gel, but I'm afraid I'm more of a glue person than a glue gel person, so that one goes there. There's enough depth on them with their wings without having them raised off the card as well, but if you prefer to use glue gel, that's entirely up to you. Where's my little one gone? Oh, there he is. I should be using my tweezers really, but I forget. This glue is driving me up the wall. One minute it doesn't want to come out and the next minute it just shoots out. There we go. So actually, where are we going to put this one? I might pop it there actually. Yeah. And then the last thing to do, which we are going to pop on let's do this the right way around now. I'm going to pop on some, and then I'm going to pop a little bit just there. No, stick to everything. Never mind. I think that looks stunning. And then the last thing to do is to pop on a few sparkly gems. So I've got one there. I think I have one up there. Oops, can't get this one off. Hang on. So 1, 2, we could have one up in the corner actually. 3. So is 3 enough? I think it is. I think 3 is enough actually. So there we go. There's our beautiful inky messy card, which I absolutely love. So today will be beautiful. Cherish every moment, and may all your dreams and wishes come true. There you go. Thank you for watching.